Among the pantheon of ancient Egyptian deities, there are few as beloved and revered as the goddess Isis, queen of the gods, whose magic and wisdom were feared abroad. Isis was worshipped as the goddess of motherhood, fertility, and healing, and was also associated with magic and the afterlife. First, let us see about the legend behind the birth of Isis. The earth god Geb and the sky goddess Nut were in love with each and wanted to make a family of their own. However, when the supreme god, Ra, heard of a prophecy that said a child of Nut and Geb would become the new ruler of Egypt in his place, he forbid their child to be born by cursing them, so that none of their child would be able to be born on any day on the 360 days of the year. Desperate, Nut came to Thoth and asked him for guidance, and the god of wisdom quickly devised a plan. Thoth gambled with Khonsu, god of the moon, whose light rivaled that of his father Ra's. Every time Khonsu lost, he had to give Thoth some of his moonlight. Khonsu lost so many times that Thoth had enough moonlight to make 5 extra days. Since these days were not part of the year, Nut could have her children. She then gave birth to Osiris, god of agriculture and later god of the dead, Her-Ur, god of war, Isis, goddess of magic, Set, god of deserts, and Nephthys, goddess of water. When Ra found out about their birth, he became furious and threw Nut up to the air, who became the sky. He pulled Geb to the ground and turned him into the earth. Ra then ordered their father Shu, god of air, to keep them separated for eternity. However, by then, the prophecy had come to fruition, as the children of Geb and Nut had been born. Not wanting to create needless drama, Ra then passed down his title as pharaoh to Osiris, the oldest son. Isis and Osiris fell deeply in love and were married, ruling Egypt together as king and queen. After Osiris was crowned the pharaoh by Ra, in order to gain more power and influence to secure her husband's reign, Isis created a devious plot involving the sun god Ra. When Ra was asleep, Isis sneaked in and took away some of Ra's saliva, which she then mixed it with clay to create a snake. During his daily journey across the sky, she let loose the snake onto the sun boat and allowed the snake to bite Ra, poisoning the god in the process. If this was an ordinary snake, this would be no problem for the almighty sun god. However, as the snake was made from Ra's own saliva, it also contained some of his own power and divinity, thus preventing him from healing himself. Worrying for his life, Ra ordered all the physicians within the realm of the Egyptian gods to come and heal him, but it was all for vain. As the situation became more and more dreaded by the minute, Isis appeared and innocently asked what had happened to the divine father. As the gods informed her of the situation, she came to Ra's bed and gently told him that she could cure him of his pain, if only he gave her his name. Ra, writhing in pain, told her all of his names and titles. Shaking her head in disappointment, she softly told him that those names weren't what she wanted, and that the only thing that could help him then was his true name. Hearing this, with his intuition, Ra was able to quickly deduct that it was she who created the serpent, as only the goddess of magic would be able to create something as devious and wonderfully crafted such as that. Knowing that he had no choices, Ra begrudgingly told Isis his secret name, thus giving her control over him and his power, making her one of the most powerful entities within Egyptian mythology. With a smile on her face, she easily eased the divine father's pain as if it was nothing, taking out the poison within Ra's veins and vaporized it into the air. With this, Isis, now holding greater power and influence over the Egyptian cosmology than most of her fellow gods, safely secured her husband's position of power from any harm. Isis and Osiris went on to have a son named Horus, who became a powerful deity in his own right. Temples dedicated to Isis were built throughout Egypt, and the goddess was worshipped by people from all walks of life. As the goddess of healing, Isis was often invoked to help cure diseases and injuries. Isis was also associated with the afterlife, and was believed to protect the souls of the dead on their journey to the afterlife. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and prayers used in ancient Egyptian funerary rituals, often invoked Isis's protection and guidance. Isis was often depicted with outstretched wings, symbolizing her role as a protective mother figure. While the worship of Isis declined with the rise of Christianity and Islam in Egypt, the goddess remains an important figure in modern-day paganism and new religious movements. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more fascinating content.